The sky over the Kestrel Yard was the color of scraped steel, and the rain didn't fall so much as hover, a mist that made distance lie. Freight pylons stood like organ pipes, the mag rails thrummed under our boots, and everything reeked of ozone and wet iron. I'm Calder Rook, Sergeant, 42nd Port Guard, male, 35. My job today? Keep the Scoria Causeway open long enough for the last cargo train to clear the ridge. After that, the Cjurn could have the yard, the tracks, and the sky, and I'd let the rain remember my name. Lieutenant Miles Strake had the kind of voice that replaced fear with tasks. He said, "Short volleys, make 'em measure. When they correct, cut the legs." The Cjurn weren't monsters. They were worse. Professionals who thought the universe was a spreadsheet. Tall, segmented armor like smoked glass, gun hands that folded out of forearms, lazy blue optics that never blinked. They subtracted. They'd rather balance you out than break you. I hate elegant math on a battlefield. Dawn tried and failed. From the western crane line, the first Cjurn crested the gantries and started down the racks, their steps hitting in perfect rule of three. Our heavy turret answered with the stubborn music I grew up believing in. It sang 7 bars, then choked. Impact gel fanned out across its throat. The barrel drooped like a dead flower. "Rangefinders are marking ghosts," Corporal Jet Barlow barked. "They've seeded our lanes with scatterglass." Mine, actually. Last night I wired the catwalk undersides with hanger scrap and old lenses. Mirror ticks baited with heater tabs. No sane defender wastes decoys behind his own line. We weren't sane. The Cjurn reached the mid-racks and began to swing right, toward the causeway throat our train had to use. Blue optics cooled, weapons adjusting. I thumbed the switch. The underneath of the yard awoke to a crooked sunrise. Heat signatures bloomed where we weren't. Our own scopes flinched, then settled. Theirs walked clean off a cliff. One missile swam for a phantom and detonated in a rain of wire. Another took the wrong return and stitched sparks across a crane's knees. "Now," Strake said, as if announcing the hour. We moved. Boots bit wet steel. Shoulders clipped control boxes. We ate a flight of stairs and spilled into a corridor of hanging chains. A Cjurn came around a pillar and tried to read me like a receipt. I returned an answer he couldn't file. Bayonet through the soft seam under the jaw panel. Twist. Withdraw. Coolant hissed like an angry thought. They recovered with a professional shame. Quietly. Fast. A wedge formed behind a foreman's forklift and pushed the officer into the hinge. A little taller. A lot calmer. No swagger. Just permission for his line to be perfect again. He slid once, twice, testing. The third cut landed at the seam of my chest plate and made breathing a lesson I didn't want. He expected me to step back so his math could finish. I stepped in so it couldn't. Close doesn't forgive. We turned like knives in a drawer. His elbow found my ear and rang it. My rifle butt found the fine webbing at his ribs and lied to it. His blade kissed my neck. I let the kiss cost me a strip of skin and used the pain to pick an angle. Shoulder. Pivot. The forklift's side rail gave me the fulcrum I needed. I slammed his head into the mast and jammed steel up under the chin plate until the resistance became slack. 2 minutes, the net coughed. "Train reports 2 to the ridge." We gave the yard meters like coins. 1 for 10 seconds. 2 for 20. The mirror ticks cooled. The Cjurn finished blinking and returned to arithmetic. "Cut the legs," Strake repeated, calm as a ledger. We had one honest shape left on the field, a signal derrick leaning over the causeway like a tired saint. I'd packed edge charges at its ankles because symmetry whispers, and the Cjurn love the sound. They always correct to the tallest thing still standing. They surged. I double-tapped the triggers. The derrick sighed, knelt, and rode a new trench across their wedge. Cable strands sang. Sparks took the rein and made it amber. A skimmer at the back tried to lift. Jet wedged a charge into its intake and turned the air into knives for a heartbeat. "Last car on the climb," dispatch came through, voice too even to be lying. The Cjurn didn't rage. They subtracted themselves with professional care. I watched them go and felt the empty ache that comes after refusing to be balanced. The ache is pride's brother. He doesn't speak much. He helps you stand. I leaned against the broken derrick and felt blood find new places to be. Straight crouched and studied my face the way carpenters check a beam. You holdin', Rook? Enough to be useful. That's the only kind we hire. Rain hissed on hot metal. Somewhere north, wheels sang up a grade, and the yard's big heartbeat settled into a steadier time. We cleaned what we could, marked what we couldn't, and left the rest for the inspectors nobody would ever pay. Near my boot lay the Cjurn officer's tally shard. I picked it up. It trembled like a trapped mite, then chimed as if surprised to be in a warm hand. I put it in my pocket. The shard didn't weigh much, but the decision did. The last car cleared the ridge. The causeway throat belonged to nobody for a full minute, and then to us forever. Pass open. Ledger closed. Kestrel Yard held. If they come back, and they will, we'll do this dance again, with different wires, different angles, the same habit. Start the math, break the math, add one more man to their problem until the answer is ours. We stepped out into the open and let the rain put the smoke down. My hands didn't shake. That's not because I'm brave. It's because we did the work. When we reached the locker alley, I wrote 2 words in chalk on the door we used for counting and never for prayer. Pass held. We didn't cheer. We didn't need to. Pride isn't noise. Pride is the way you don't look back.